The Virginia air carried that soft chill between night and day, the kind that slips under your skin before you realize you're shivering. I held my coffee in both hands, watching the mist lift from the grass. For a moment, the world felt half awake, quiet, fragile, unsure if it wanted to stay in the dark or step into the light. Then the wind shifted, lifting the edge of my robe. I reached for it instinctively, but before I could catch it, I saw movement. Him. Lucas. My daughter's husband. He froze mid-step, eyes locking on me. For one breath, maybe two, neither of us moved. It wasn't shock in his face. It was something heavier, something that made the silence between us hum with danger. And in that single, impossible second, I realized it wasn't just the wind that left me cold. That look didn't end when he turned away. It stayed in the air, thick and trembling, following me like the scent of rain before a storm. My name is Evelyn. I'm 56 years old, and I've learned that silence can speak louder than any confession. This house, painted white and still too big for one person, holds echoes of promises that never kept. My husband once called it our forever home, but forever, I've learned, can be surprisingly short. He left 2 years ago. Said he needed space. He found it in the arms of someone half my age. I didn't chase him. I just stopped waiting. Lucas is 38. He married my daughter Sophie 8 years ago. For a long time, they were my Sunday ritual. Her laughter in the kitchen, his easy smile, the smell of cinnamon rolls and burnt coffee. But lately, it's just him who shows up. He says Sophie's been busy. I say nothing, but I see it in his eyes, the quiet loneliness of a man still pretending to be in love. That morning, he tried to play it casual. "Morning, Evelyn," he said, his voice caught between polite and uncertain. "You're early," I replied, pulling my robe tighter, pretending the air wasn't so charged. He smiled, small and nervous. "Sophie said your back porch light was out. Thought I'd fix it." A lie. We both knew it. Still, I stepped aside. "Come in." The way he walked past me, careful, close, not daring to brush against me, shifted something invisible. Not in the room. In me, he changed the bulb. We talked about nothing and everything. The weather, the stray cat that slept on my porch, the way the nights felt longer when you had no one waiting in bed. And when he left, the silence that followed wasn't peaceful. It was full. That night, I stood before the mirror longer than usual. I didn't look at the wrinkles or the soft lines time had traced along my face. I looked at my eyes. What did he see when he looked at me? And worse, why did I want him to see it again? 2 days later, he came back. Another excuse. Another lie. Something about a loose fence latch. I could have told him it wasn't broken, but I didn't. I opened the door and let him in. We sat in the kitchen. The clock ticked too loudly. He looked at me. Really looked. "You okay?" he asked. It was such a simple question, but it cracked something open. "I'm fine," I said, though we both knew I wasn't. He nodded slowly, his eyes soft, thoughtful. Sometimes I look at Sophie and feel like she's somewhere I can't reach. I hesitated. "Marriage does that," I said quietly. "It turns love into memory before you even notice." He smiled faintly, sad, knowing. The kind of smile that hides pain under decency. And in that moment, we understood each other too well. When he reached for his mug, his fingers brushed mine. Just a second, but a second can stretch when you don't want it to end. He began stopping by more often. No repairs, no excuses, sometimes with coffee. Sometimes with flowers he claimed were leftovers from a job site. The lies became smaller. The visits, longer. We talked about the ache of time, about how people can sleep side by side and still feel alone. He never said what he was thinking, and I never asked. Maybe that's what made it worse. The unspoken things between us. Heavy as confession, tender as temptation. One evening, the sun spilled through the kitchen window, gold and warm against the old wooden table. He sat across from me, his shirt sleeves rolled, his expression unreadable. I think about you more than I should, he said suddenly. The words hit like a current, quiet but electric. I felt my pulse rise, my breath stumble. Do you think about Sophie when you're here? I whispered. He looked away, voice rough. I try to. The air thickened. A heartbeat, 2. Silence dared us to move, to choose. His hand lifted slightly, hesitating, waiting for me to meet him halfway. I didn't. But I didn't move away either. Sometimes, that's where betrayal begins. Not in what you do, but in what you allow. The clock ticked. Outside, the last light of day faded, wrapping the world in soft shadows. Inside, everything felt suspended, half sin, half truth, entirely human. And in that stillness, I realized something dangerous. I didn't want him to leave.